Hi, I'm Julie McQueen, and I'm making this video to show people how to clean their firearms. Now, if you are used to cleaning your own guns, if you do this all the time, then this video might not be for you. My reason behind this is because I feel like there's a lot of people out there who feel intimidated or scared about cleaning their own guns, and I just want to show you that it's okay. You can't really mess up as long as you put safety first. Now, what we're going to do today is I've got a 380. This is a Ruger 380 that I carry as a personal defense weapon. The first thing that you will always see us do on any gun cleaning video is to clear the weapon. So I am going to drop the magazine, and then a lot of times you'll see guys who will pull this back multiple times, right? Just to make sure. You need to visually look inside of it, clear that chamber, make sure that nothing is in there. Now what I do is I will usually set this away from my cleaning table. That way, just in case if somebody else walks up, I don't have to worry that they have loaded the weapon that I will be cleaning. Before I do that, I'm actually going to pop one of these out because a nifty little trick on, well, first of all, let me explain this. A lot of 380s will have a slide lock. This one does not. The three that I own do not have slide locks, and this right here has a little pin, and that little pin is what's holding all of this together. So those of you who have never field stripped a 380 before, that right there is your key. I'm going to take this, and the edge of your bullet is going to slip right under that piece right there, and you'll hear it click just like that. So see how that little pin has popped out? This is the point where I put this back in, and I'm going to lay this on a separate table. Just like that. Don't have to worry about anyone walking over. Safety first. This pin is going to pop right out of there, just like that. And I'm going to lay it right there. Now, for anyone who's never disassembled a 380 before, super simple. If you don't have a slide lock on there, that whole top slide is going to pull right out, just like that. I lay that right there. Lay this here. Now, this is your spring. There's actually two springs inside of this, and super easy, but be careful when you remove it so it doesn't go springing around the room. You don't want to lose that. So you push in with your thumb just like that. It's going to release it. This is your recoil spring. There's actually two springs in there with a pin, and I'm going to lay those right there. And then you simply grab this. This is your barrel. Pull that, and the barrel comes right out. Now, as you can see, this gun is actually already pretty clean. I clean them regularly, and what my whole point of doing this video for you is just to show that anyone can field strip their 380. This is really simple. It's a lot more simple than a lot of the other firearms. And even if you don't want to do a deep cleaning, you can at least take it apart and put it back together just so you feel more comfortable with it. I do that a lot just to maintain it. I might just strip it all down, wipe it all off, and put it right back together without actually brushing through the barrel or anything. It's a good habit to get in. Now, I have a pretty extensive cleaning kit set out today. Doesn't mean you have to use all of the little doodads that come with it. The first thing that I always do is I get a little rag like this, and I put some of this on it. This is going to be your solvent. Drench that rag in it just like that. And then the first thing I always do is I take this spring, I take it apart like that, 3 different pieces, and just wipe it down real good. No need to spend a ton of time on it. Just like that, wipe it off like that. And then I always go ahead and I put this back together because you don't want these pieces floating around and you don't want to lose them. Definitely don't stretch them out. I do that, I lay it right there. And then the same rag, it's not too dirty. You can go right over here to your slide and just get down in all those little crevices, wipe it out real good. Wipe down the outside, especially if it's been out in the elements. Get down inside. And I also keep Q-tips in my gun cleaning kit. Just like that. It fits perfect down in these little grooves. And once you're all done wiping out all the little pieces, make sure, go through and do a visual inspection, make sure you got all the cotton out of these little sharp corners because you do not want little extra pieces of cotton inside of your firearm. I do the same thing with the barrel. I wipe it down with that solvent. And the same thing with this. Now, a lot of times on other gun cleaning videos, I feel like a lot of the guys will use terminology that some people might not understand who are beginners. And this video is meant to make you feel comfortable and secure in disassembling and wiping down your gun. So I'm not gonna get into all the technicalities, but just know that there's a lot of stuff going on in here. Your trigger mechanism, everything is right down in there. And just give it a good visual inspection. Make sure that everything's clear. Make sure it's not too greasy, but it can be nice and lubricated when you put it all back together so all of those moving parts work well. After I do that, I take my, let's see, get one of these things right here, put this on. I highly recommend that you get a nice kit like the one that I have here, so that if you do want to get a little more in-depth in cleaning your firearms, you have all of the tools that you need. I like to take one of these and run it down the barrel, push all the way through, like that, and then pull it right back through. Now, this gun is actually really clean already. I clean them pretty regularly. It's usually what I do for fun, so you won't see a lot of residue coming out of it. But if you have fired your weapon recently, take a bristle brush like this. You're gonna put this on. Don't use a steel brush, use one of these copper ones. And then when you put that in the barrel, you're gonna go all the way through and then all the way back out. So you're gonna go all the way in and all the way back out. Don't go halfway and scrub, just always follow through and then come right back out with it. And then I also recommend having a nice bristle brush to get down in all of those little crevices and moving parts. Wipe everything down, scrub it out, especially if you've been firing it lately. And then once I have everything with the solvent, everything wiped down, including the outside of the firearm, I just take a nice rag and I wipe it all down. Again, this is gonna get any excess solvent off of the little pieces. So I wipe that, got my barrel, got my slide. And if you clean your guns regularly, you won't have to spend a ton of time on them. As long as everything is nice and tidy and lubricated, your gun should work just fine. And now quickly, I'm going to show you how to reassemble all of this. So you've got your barrel. It's going to go right back in the slide. It's just like a nice little puzzle. So I'm going to put that barrel right back in there. And then my spring, inside pretty much every 380, you're gonna have a little piece like that. And then I take my thumb and I push that spring and you'll feel a tiny little groove right about there. Now, once you get that spring set in there, don't mess with it too much. See that? There was a little piece of cotton sticking on there. So don't mess with it too much, just set that right back down. I like to wipe the body of the gun off one more time just to make sure I got all of the stuff out. Now I do also have some dry lubricant here, and I do like to go through and just spray everything down really lightly. I don't put a lot in there. Down in all of your little moving parts. Wipe off any excess. And then your slide is going to perfectly go right back on. Now, if you're using a 380 that has a slide lock, it's going to be a little bit different, but not much. The slide is actually going to go further back. Your slide lock will move up, and then everything will fall into place perfectly. On this one, all you do is line that up, get your pin, and you're going to push that pin right back down in there. You'll hear it click. And then I like to just double check everything, make sure it all moves nicely, smoothly, give it a nice visual inspection, and that's it. Don't be afraid to disassemble and reassemble any of your firearms. If you get lost and can't figure it out, there's always tutorials on YouTube or on the internet in general of people telling you how to put everything back together properly. And if you have questions, be sure to ask a professional. But that is how I field strip and wipe down my 380. I do it pretty regularly because to me, I just find it intriguing.